Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about overpriced records, and I believe the records I'm going to be showing in this video take the cake. The craziest prices ever. And I've done a couple of videos like this where I've went to a record store and I saw older vintage records that used to be in the dollar bins, really common records that are really expensive now, or at least the prices they were asking for them were, as well as brand new records. These records are going up in price. They're getting more expensive to make, and they're passing on the cost to the customers. This is a whole nother category. These are newer reissues that are coming back in as used records, and they're charging crazy prices for them. So I will be showing and discussing that. Also, I want to give a thank you and a shout out to Grim Reaper Records. They sent me this really cool t-shirt. They are a Discogs record store. They're pretty close to where I live. They saw that I make vinyl videos and they wanted to send me a shirt. I'm going to leave a link below to their Discogs page as well as their YouTube channel. They don't make a lot of content, but when I'm buying off of Discogs or eBay, it's kind of nice to put a face to a name. So they do have some content out there if you want to check that out and subscribe to them. And mainly they have a really good Discogs page where they sell really good records. So again, thank you. I love the shirt. It was very sweet of them to send that to me. Let's go ahead and get started with the video. Let's talk about the first record that I ran into. Again, it was a situation where my husband and my daughter and I were out, and my daughter runs over to the book section, my husband runs to the DVDs, and I go over to the vinyl, and I run into a record. And I also, before I get started, want to be clear. The pictures I'm going to be showing, I didn't buy any of those records. I realize they're overpriced, in my opinion. So I didn't buy any of them. But as a visual aid for the video, I am showing the records I already own. I already own all of the records I'm going to be showing. So I didn't pay those crazy prices. But you know what? Here's the bottom line. I have seen crazy prices at this store before and saw those records, and I come back and they're gone. So bottom line, a record is worth what someone is willing to pay for it. But you know, I can still have my opinions and think they're pretty crazy. So now, having said all that, let's go ahead and get started with, this is my visual aid of Michael Jackson's Thriller. This is my 1983, or, original or early reissue. I love this record. I'm so glad that I still have it after all these years. It's one of the few records that I still have from my childhood. I love this record, and I love what Mobile Fidelity did for it. They did a great job, made it a great sounding record. There's been a lot of reissues. It's the #1 selling record of all time. So there's a lot of copies out there. Well, when I was at the store, I saw a reissue of this Michael Jackson record, and they wanted $47.95 for it for the 25th anniversary. I've never heard it, but I've heard it doesn't sound all that great, so it's not even one of the better copies. Maybe if an original first pressing of this was still sealed, maybe you could justify that kind of price. But for a reissue for the 25th anniversary, it doesn't even have a great reputation of sounding all that good. Yikes, that's pretty crazy. So I thought that was pretty funny. Another record that was really crazy that I ran into, Led Zeppelin 2. This is my copy of it, but there are the new reissues that's come out. They've been mastered by Jimmy Page, or remastered by Jimmy Page, and I have the physical graffiti copy, and I think it sounds good, but I have another copy of physical graffiti that sounds even better. So I would not say that the Jimmy Page remasters are the definitive copies. I could be wrong. You can debate me if you want to. But you can still buy all of those records. They're still sealed. They're in stores for a fraction of what this certain store wanted for a used copy. So in this store, they were asking $42.95 for a Jimmy Page remastered version of Led Zeppelin 2. I think that's a pretty easy record to find still. Maybe they're getting a little harder to find, but I don't think so. I think you can still find those pretty easily, like on Amazon and local record shops. But they're not 42.95, and you're buying a used copy that someone else has already owned. So before you do that, buy a brand new copy. I thought that was really insane. Here's another one. We're talking about the Beatles. And this is one that I own. This is a yellow vinyl version from quite a while back. But they had the 2012 stereo versions. And I believe these are the ones that went into that black Beatles vinyl box that came out quite, several years ago. But these are still easy to find. These are the stereo versions. I've never heard any of them. I haven't bought any of those 2012 stereo copies. Uh, but if you have one, maybe it sounds good. I don't know. But they don't have the reputation of sounding the best. So I was really shocked when I saw a 2012 reissue already opened for $52.95. You can easily find this record for probably half that price. Brand new, still sealed. I I'm just gonna, when I go back, man, I am going to look and see, is that record still there? And I hope it is. It would kill me to think somebody went in there and bought this record for $52.95 when they can just go on Amazon and pay a fraction of that price. Also, a lot of your local record stores do still have those stereo versions. So here's another one from the Beatles. The Beatles, and I have the in mono version, but I'm talking about the stereo version and not the one that just came out last year, but the one that came out along at the same time as that Magical Mystery Tour. It's available in that black box that came out. It's a stereo copy. I believe it's digitally sourced. They don't have the best reputation, but again, I've not heard one of them. Well, for this Revolver, they want $57.95. Already opened, not even brand new. I could not believe it. And if I go back there sometime and that copy's not there anymore, I'm going to be heartbroken because that means somebody bought it. I hope that person that buys it loves it, treasures it, but my gosh, they way overpaid, in my opinion. Now, this next one, this is an original. It's a very early copy, but they have reissued this one, Queen's Greatest Hits. And I think if you go to Walmart or Target, you can get the colored vinyl exclusives. Like I said, this one is my original from way back in the day. And you can get the black vinyl version at the store I'm talking about. And they want $52.95 for it. Pretty crazy. I'm shocked. I don't know what to say at this point. These reissues that you can easily find still in stores, still sealed, are used records at this store, and they're charging crazy prices. And the scary part is there's probably somebody out there buying them. And then I will leave with this one. Here is another one. This is my original of Footloose, the Footloose soundtrack. Now, the copy I ran into in this store was also an original, and I believe this has been reissued probably. There's probably Walmart exclusives, Target exclusives, all different kinds of reincarnations of this album. But this was an original in the store. But you know what? This is a very common record. There's a million copies out there, more than that. There's just a ton of copies of Footloose. And if you can see mine still has a hype sticker, and it also has the old price, which, when you think about it, it was $9.49, and mine was on sale, had a buck off for $8.49. Now, if you want to take inflation and make the argument for inflation, this price is pretty accurate. This actually was selling for $25.95. But I'm spoiled. I'm used to seeing Footloose in record stores in the used bins for $5, $10. $26.95 for a used copy of Footloose. That was a shocker to me. Now, again, when you were paying $9.49 back in the day, $26.95 today or $25.95 isn't that bad. But I'm just not used to seeing those kind of prices. So to me, those were the craziest prices for records I have ever seen, especially those Beatles records, the Queen's greatest hits. Don't pay that $50 price tag. Go to Target, go to Walmart, go to your local record store and pay half that price. That just really shocked me. So also I want to say thank you to Brent, a really nice guy who sent some records my way. These are old Record Store Day records from a couple of years back. They're really, really good. I don't remember seeing them, but I really like them. This is called Mutual Attraction, High Pulp Volume 1. A lot of you would probably really like the artwork on that one. It's really cool. And this is what I would call like a psychedelic jazz. Think In a Silent Way, Bitches Brew kind of a deal. It's really good. It's probably my favorite of the three that he sent. And I think it's a really good jazz type of record. Really, really cool. And this was a limited Record Store Day edition, limited to 700 copies. So that was very cool to have. I don't remember seeing these. I don't know if these were only available in the UK or here in the US as well. Now this one is Volume 2. And again, really good artwork. This one kind of reminded me, thinking maybe Herb Alpert's Rise album, which I really love. And it's just a little bit more of a prettier jazz, not quite as psychedelic, but more of just an outright jazz record, and beautiful. And then here is another one. This is Volume 3. This one is also really, really good, beautiful jazz. So I really love these three records, and they were limited. They were all Record Store Day records. This one was limited to 1,000 copies. I'm not sure about this one. I looked and tried to do some research and I couldn't find, but you know what? You don't have to have the Record Store Day versions. I believe they're now available on colored vinyl. I suggest maybe you check them out on YouTube. I think you'd really like them. If you like jazz, you like psychedelic jazz, especially this first one. I really love it. I think it's so fantastic. But I really did enjoy all three of them. They're all three worth your time to just to check out and see if you like them. So that is my video today. Let me know, are you seeing those kind of prices when it comes to these newer records? They're coming in as used records. Are they priced as high as what I just showed on my channel? I'd be curious to know. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. I would really appreciate it because it does help my channel out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.